If you're leading a team through change right now, you've probably felt it. The unspoken tension in meetings, the questions people aren't quite asking out loud, the sense that you need to have all the answers, and the quiet anxiety when you don't. Here's what I want you to hear. Your team doesn't need you to have all the answers. What they need is something you already have the capacity to give them, and that's what this video is all about. Most change management content focus on what breaks down: resistance, confusion, disengagement. I want to take a different approach today, because in every organization navigating change, there are teams that don't just survive it, they grow through it. They come out the other side more connected, more capable, and more committed than before. What do these teams have in common? That's exactly what we're going to explore. When change arrives, the instinct is often to start from scratch, new vision, new structure, new way of working. But here's what the research and our global experience consistently shows. The teams that navigate change best don't abandon what makes them strong. They build on it. Every team has moments of genuine trust. The colleague who speaks up first when something isn't working. The leader who once said, "I got that wrong. Let's figure this out together." The time the team pulled through something hard and came out stronger. Those moments are your foundation, especially now. In times of change, psychological safety isn't a nice to have. It's the infrastructure when people can say, "I'm uncertain about this," or "I made a mistake," without fear. That's when real adaptation happens. Ask yourself, when have I seen my team at their most open and courageous? That's your starting point. Build from there. So build on that trust that already exists. And change creates friction. That's not a problem to be managed. It's energy to be directed. The team that thrives through disruptions have learned to channel disagreement productively. They debate ideas openly. They challenge the direction of change, the pace of it, the implementation of it in the room, in the meetings, anywhere where it can actually shape decisions. And outside of that room, they back each other. That discipline, robust debating, unified front out, is what separates teams that get stronger under pressure from those that fracture. Think about a moment when your team had a genuinely generative argument, where the best thinking won, not the loudest voice, where people left the room clearer and more energized than when they walked in. That is the culture worth protecting and expanding right now. And here's something worth sitting with. Most of the anxiety people feel during change isn't about the change itself. It's about not knowing where they stand in it. Who owns what now? What does success look like in this new structure? What can I count on staying the same? The leaders who navigate change most effectively are almost obsessive about clarity, not certainty. They don't have that, and pretending otherwise destroys trust. But clarity, clear ownership, clear expectations, clear markers of progress that everyone can see. When people know what they're responsible for and can see that their work is moving something forward, the anxiety doesn't disappear, but it becomes manageable. It has somewhere to go. In the middle of change, clarity is the most generous thing you can offer your team. When organizations are changing, the spotlight tends to fall on what's not working yet. the process still being figured out, the results that haven't landed, the gaps. But something else is happening at the same time, and it deserves equal attention. People are showing up. They're adapting. They're covering for each other, solving problems nobody had a playbook for, and finding ways to keep things moving under genuinely difficult conditions. That deserves recognition. Not the end-of-year award kind, the real-time, specific, in-the-moment kind. When you highlight the collaboration that keeps your team together right now, the assist, not just the goal, you're doing something more powerful than you might realize. You're signaling, this is who we are, even in the hard seasons. What you praise, you get more of, especially when it matters most. Here's one of the most overlooked truths about leading through change. The organizations that come out ahead aren't the ones that execute a flawless transition. They're the ones that learn the fastest. Change is, by nature, an experiment. Things work differently than planned. Some things won't work at all. The question isn't whether that will happen. It's whether your team has a rhythm for noticing, adjusting, and sharing their learning. A weekly retrospective, even 15 minutes, that asks what worked, what didn't, what do we do differently next week, compounds over time in ways that are genuinely extraordinary. A monthly skill share between team members does two things at once. It spreads capability across the team, and it deepens a connection that makes change feel survivable. Teams that learn together don't just grow together, they build the kind of resilience that no restructure can take away. I want to be straight with you about something because I think it matters. The gap between teams that merely survive change and teams that genuinely grow through it usually isn't strategy. It isn't resources. It isn't even timing. It's courage. The courage to have the conversations that have been quietly avoided for months. The courage to hold a consistent standard when it would be easier to make exceptions. The courage to give feedback that actually helps someone grow through the transition instead of leaving them to figure it out alone. The cost of avoiding those things is real. And in times of change, it compounds quickly. People burn out, trust erodes. The best people start quietly reconsidering. Here's what's also true. Every team you lead has more capacity for this than you might think, because they've already shown it in the moments they showed up when things were hard, in the ways they've adapted already. The work is to see that, to name it, and build on it deliberately. Change doesn't have to fracture your team. When it's led well, with psychological safety, productive conflict, radical clarity, genuine recognition, and a rhythm of learning, it can be the thing that makes your team more connected, more capable, and more committed than they were before. That's not idealism. That's what the best leaders I've seen do consistently in the middle of some genuinely difficult transitions. So here's your challenge this week. Look at your team and ask, what's already working here, even now? Start there, build from there. And if this resonates, share it with a leader who needs to hear it right now. Subscribe for more on leading people through change, and drop a comment below. I genuinely love to hear what your team is navigating at the moment. So like this video, and I'll see you in the next one.